Hi Grace, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing well. So obviously Shazam 2 is a big deal because the first Shazam kind of blew everything we thought of the DCU out of the water and was a lot of ways one of the first like movies that I think everyone collectively was like, yes, this is really good. This is exactly what we wanted out of a Shazam movie. And so going into this second one, knowing that so many people loved the first, so many people were excited about it. How do you feel like returning to this character and getting to be back in such a big way?
I think that's a interesting point because it's like the first one had a very specific tone that I think fit the age range of the kids. And with this one, there definitely is a little bit, we still have that tone, but it's
Mhm.
matured a little bit. There's a little bit more maturity as far as maybe subject matter and kids kind of considering who they are and how they fit in this world. And there's bigger action, bigger budget, like awesome suits, more villains. And I mean, I think that there was a really beautiful job done to stay in the same universe, but mature, if you will. I think this one's just a
Mhm.
little bit more reflectant of the age range of the kids and kind of similar to how the Harry Potter movies, you see kind of a steady growth of the subject matter along with the kids getting older. There's just a little bit of that here.
Yeah, and I think you're in this. Mary's in the suit this time, isn't she? Like, aren't you actually in the suit? Because that
Yes.
that was one of the things. Like, I think my brother had made that connection. I was like, yeah, you're right. Was that this is how they grow up, and Mary was the older sibling. So you're like, well,
Yeah.
why wouldn't it have just been Mary
Yeah.
at the end of Shazam? And so now you do get to be in the suit. And how was that kind of because you are working essentially with two sets of the same characters, but all different
Mhm.
actors on the one side than when they're
Mhm.
kids. So what
And
was that
technically,
dynamic like?
well, it's fun because like technically they're the same person within the story,
Yeah.
within the canon of the story, right? So like nerdily from a audience standpoint, I love the fact that we have someone who's with the kids and the adults that
Hmm.
subconsciously our brain can be like, oh, these are the same people.
Hmm.
Because I interact with the kids the same way that I interact with the adults, the individual relationships that I have with the characters when they're in their kid form. I react the exact same way to them in their adult form. It doesn't matter that they're older. I'm disappointed if someone's cheating on their homework, even if they're in adult form. I'm like, you can't be doing that.
You're like, adult me is the same as kid
Yeah.
me. It is so funny because, like, I know many a millennial flipped out at the end of the first Shazam when Freddie Freeman became Seth Cohen. So sorry, Adam
Oh
Brody,
yeah.
but everyone was just like, Seth Cohen's a superhero. What? And it was kind of that I felt like was such a specific generation of people connected with it versus like my brother was like, I don't understand. And we were like, you're not going to get it. It's that's Seth Cohen. Um, but with that, it is like there's so many like it's such a fun kind of casting to see the older versions of these characters.
Yeah.
And as you have the unique possibility, the unique advantage of being both. Uh,
Yeah.
how like how is it kind of seeing their take on the characters
What you
and
want to know is what's Adam Brody like.
oh yeah, also that yes but like how is it like seeing like
Bravo.
obviously we saw Zach in the first one but like
Yeah.
how's it kind of seeing their approach to these characters and uh how they related to the younger ones because the younger ones did establish it
Oh yeah.
before.
Oh, totally. And you know what's so interesting is that the younger ones, because visually they're younger, try to track with me. This is kind of funny, but like they can be more serious and mature. Like
Hmm.
the younger ones can act a little bit more like grounded.
Hmm.
Whereas we have adults, if they were acting identically to the kids, you might not feel that there was a big enough distinction. So with the adult cast, they kind of have to drum it up just a little bit more so
Hmm.
that it's in the physicality and it's in the the mannerisms and the speech maybe even, and like just like I'm thinking of Megan Good and how good, no pun intended,
So
she
good.
is at doing Darla, and just like the purity and the joy. And I think also though, when you've got these kids in their superhero form, maybe the insecurities and the self-esteem that the lack of self-esteem you have when you're in, like, you're a kid and you don't really know the world, but suddenly you're in a superhero suit, so you can kind of like punch up a little bit more, and feel more confident and feel bolder. So to answer your question, it was really fun to be with the adults and go, oh my gosh, they are more like kids than the kids are. So I'd be working with the kids in the afternoon and be like, oh yeah, we're really professional and we're quiet on set. And these little adults are ready to roll. Here we go. And then you're with the adults and they're like playing Hades video game in the corner, just like, I gotta finish this level, and oh, this one's so hard to beat. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we gotta get back on set. It's time to roll.
They're like, I have my Switch. I need to beat this level.
Zach literally was so generous and gifted Switches to us on the first movie. So we were all playing like Mario Kart, and it didn't stop on the second one. We were all playing.
Guys were like, now we can just play it together again. We're gonna just keep playing Mario Kart.
Yes.
Love that. With this though, like obviously the first movie gave us Mark Strong, gave us some great moments. Like I think about that scene where he's like, are you talking to me? I can't hear you. You're like a mile away. Like I think about that scene
Yes.
all the time.
Oh, I love that scene.
But in this one, the villains are just like, for lack of a better way of explaining, the internet's the mother meme. That's like every single like villain that you guys have in this movie, because it's Helen Mirren, it's Lucy Liu, and then Rachel Zegler is like the most adorable person I have seen exist online. Just she
Yes.
seems so much fun, and like she's just
Yes.
having the best time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But with those three, it is like a kind of a big deal to have not only Lucy Liu but Helen Mirren in a movie like this.
It kind of is, honestly. When
that interaction, like with those two.
Well, just when the cast was announced, and my brother's like, Lucy Liu's gonna be in the movie, and I freaked out. I had her like Charlie's Angels doll when I was really young, and I would like, in my brain, I was like, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and she is the most beautiful woman in the world. I was like, wow, I love Lucy Liu. Like at a very young age, I was like, she's awesome. She's so cool. What the epitome of a woman. Wow. And here I am working.
Now you're starring opposite of her.
And she's like running at us with like a pool noodle, because they'll CGI in, a spear or whatever she has, or I don't know if I'm allowed to say what she has in her hands, but it's something specific.
It's a sharp object versus the pool noodle.
Yes. Like looking at her, and she's like, this green pool noodle. But and then Helen, she is class and also like rock and roll. It's so fascinating because we're on set and she walks over to me and she goes, I don't know if I should say this, but you have the most stunning legs I have ever seen. And I was like
Helen Mirren, that's fine. You can say that.
I was like, please, anytime, please. I will take this to the rest of my life, just in my soul.
Maybe on your gravestone, Helen Mirren once said,
stunning legs. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. But she's awesome. Like she's like doing some of her own stunts, and it was kind of terrifying to watch, because suddenly I was like, am I afraid of her? Maybe. I don't know. So it's like, she's insane.
Listen, we also have the pictures of Helen Mirren in a bikini. I believe it. I was like, she could take me out.
What a babe. What a babe.
Instantly take me out.
Oh my gosh.
But this is the second movie, and obviously, like, again, the first one, it was just so surprising how much fun that first movie was. And going into the second one, I know a lot of people are very excited, myself included. What do you hope audiences take away from Shazam! Fury of the Gods when they get to see it?
Oh, I really hope they feel how I felt watching it, because I forgot I was in it, and I just was watching it as like, I love this movie. I had a moment like mid-movie where I just was like, I feel like I've been watching this for a long time and I don't want it to end. And I love this. And I feel like a kid. And this is how I want to feel when I go to the movie theaters. And it's so rare, right? When we like, I think we're all chasing that feeling when you were a kid watching
Mhm.
Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones. I'm just gonna name my favorites here. Like, you're
I'm
like,
an indie girl, so I get it.
yes, yes, Marion Ravenwood, yes. Oh, his one true love. Among others.
Wedding ring. He has a wedding ring on in those promo pictures. I'm like,
Oh, really? I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, no, I love Indiana Jones. But that feeling where you're
mhm.
just like in the world and it's making you yourself feel like you could go on an adventure and like you want to go on an adventure. I hope people feel like it, like, because it's not a kids movie, but
Mhm.
I hope they feel like a kid. Like I hope they feel that wonder and that excitement, and that they leave the movie theater literally feeling all the feels. Like not just joy, but like I hope they cry too, because like I think I cried a little.
And the first one made me bawl, so like, can't wait. Uh, Thank you so much for talking with me today. I truly cannot wait for this movie. The minute I saw Billy Batson in a Goonie shirt, I was like, great, we're off to a wonderful start for the second movie already.
Seriously. Oh, I
Uh,
hope you love it.
I can't wait. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Have a great
Yay.
one.
Oh, you too.
Bye.